So I found out I was pregnant at 15, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell that story. Um, I'm gonna start from the beginning. I met the father of my child um, on some app. I don't know. Um, and we met when I was 15 and he was 19. And we had been dating for about, I want to say like 3 months. Maybe not even 3 months. Maybe like 2 or 3 months. I don't know. It was a long time ago. We were not dating for that long. And at some point, I had missed a period and I just felt like I was pregnant. I couldn't, if you've ever been pregnant, sometimes, not all the time, I've had a couple pregnancies where I did not feel pregnant, but this one, my first one, I really felt like I was pregnant. So I didn't have a job and I didn't have any money. So I like Googled like pregnancy tests to take at home, or like pregnancy tests you could make at home, I guess. And one was to pee on sugar, and if it dissolved or something like that, then you were pregnant. So I did that and it was disgusting. And like nothing really happened, or maybe if it foamed you were pregnant, I don't remember. Nothing really happened. So I just talked to my mom, and thankfully I have really supportive parents, and so I was not afraid to tell my mom. I was a little worried about what she was gonna say. I remember we were sitting in the car and I knew I was pregnant even before I had taken a test. So I just told her something, I don't know what I said, probably like, I'm pregnant, or I think I'm pregnant. And she was like, well, have you taken a test? I was like, no, I just know that I'm pregnant. So she went and got me a test, and I was pregnant. And I think after a month of being pregnant, I remember at 8 weeks, we were still together. And we broke up and got back together a couple times. And then he moved states when I was like 3 months pregnant or something. So he was not at the birth of my child. He has seen my son a couple times. Other than that, he's not in his life. My son doesn't know him. My son doesn't know about him. And that's something that I have to figure out how to explain to him. But my pregnancy was pretty easy. I remember I actually had eclampsia when I gave birth. I did not have preeclampsia. My blood pressure was like 200 or something. It was really high. And my epidural didn't work. And so school was not hard. I was actually homeschooled. So I didn't have to deal with school or anything like that, which I'm really grateful for. I can imagine going to high school. I was in 9th grade. Going to high school pregnant wouldn't be very fun or easy. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that or go through that. But I was a child and he was an adult. And at the time, I thought I was really grown up. But I wasn't. I was a child. And I'm glad that I had my baby because I love him so much, and he is just the sweetest, smartest boy. And I'm really glad that he's got my husband to be his father. And what else? Oh, I remember a really scary thing that happened was after I had given birth, the hospital, she was like, someone from the hospital reported that the father was an adult. And so the hospital reported that the father was an adult, and I had to talk to a detective, and that was like really scary because I had never even like talked to a police officer before. And so yeah, it was really scary. And I think like one of the worst parts about it was like having to explain everything that had happened with him, like right in front of my parents. But I wasn't on birth control. We weren't using protection. Sorry, those are my kids. If you can hear them. We weren't using protection, and I wasn't on birth control. And to be honest, I'm gonna literally blame that. My first pregnancy was, I'm blaming it on, I just didn't have enough knowledge of, I knew that sex could get you pregnant, obviously. I didn't know, other than that, I didn't know anything. I didn't think I wasn't trying to get pregnant. It just happened. And I'm gonna blame it on just not knowing. I didn't have enough information, and I had never had a sex ed class, not one. He, however, I'm sure he had them. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe he didn't know either, but I had talked to him a few months ago, just because he had been going through a lot of stuff, and we had talked for a minute, and yeah, it's difficult because I so badly wanted my son to have a relationship with his dad, but not only was he abusive mentally, he did physically abuse me once, and I think at that point I knew it had to end, and then he was moving anyway. So yeah. So on one hand, I'm grateful that he's not in my son's life. On the other hand, I wish he could have had a relationship with him. But my son is going to be a better person because I made the decision to not have him in his life, or at least that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I made the right decision, and I think I did, and I'm pretty confident.